We followed the cast of Marlborough Road in their final rehearsals before the climatic live final episode finishing the series.
Bloody paps! We didn't have any trouble when we came in. You wouldn't, sure. They hide anyway. I do feel plagued by the press at times. It just becomes...
Oh, darling, how are you? Mwah, mwah. Oh, you owe me a frappuccino, darling, my love. What's this?
It's the BBC. They're doing a documentary on me.
Actually, it's about the whole Marlborough Road.
But more on me.
Oh, have I got some stories for you, haven't I, darling?
Oh,
Tell them.
yes. Oh, yes, she has.
Me, Laurie Oliver, and a punnet of strawberries. That's all I'm saying, darling. That's all I'm saying. You keep that to yourselves. Oh, and your couple of million viewers. What's your rate, Figs?
My what?
Your ratings figures are just a showbiz term, darling. Oh, I'm interrupting this. It's all about you, darling, not silly old me. This man's a genius, a superstar.
Thanks, Ginny. EastEnders, Coronation Street, Hollyoaks, Emmerdale.
If we could just go from the beginning of the script.
Do you mean from the top?
Yeah.
Amateur.
Well, I find the directing relatively easy, I suppose. It's certainly not as hard as I thought it would be. But I suppose I was kind of weaned into it though, because we started with the radio, and so now I think I'm about ready to deal with gesticulations.
You wouldn't know to look at his carefree, laughing face, but just a couple of months ago, Joe Batman, aka Mr. L. Wraithborn, experienced
Trouble. Trauma. No, trouble.
Some of us are able to keep our feet on the ground, level-headed, and stop the stresses and strains of the business getting to us.
Do you find it easy to keep your feet on the ground?
Well, obviously, it's harder for me to do. One of the disadvantages of being, well, let's not mince our words, a superstar. I think it's important to remain rooted, but it is such a shame to see someone so affected.
I think what happened to Joe probably affected all of us pretty badly. I mean, to see someone with, well, an addiction, you know, it just wasn't nice. It took us a while to realise, of course, but we did notice something wasn't quite right. We just assumed it was stress.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Are you okay to talk about this?
Yeah, it helps with the recovery. Well, at first I tried to hide it from the group, but it got to a stage where it was 14 to 15 times a day and just too much to hide.
By November, we decided we needed to intervene. So we approached Joe and gave him some leaflets for guidance groups.
Okay, what exactly was Joe addicted to?
Bread. Not just bread. Pastries. Bagels. Flans.
Once it hit the headlines, it did start to affect the recording. We fell behind the schedule, and it reached a point where I was actually considering casting someone else for the part, but I couldn't afford it. I'm actually having to sell my car to pay for the live show. If anyone's interested in a P-Reg Renault Clio, £3,500, one functioning heater unit, and I'll throw in the beaded seat covers.
I suppose ultimately patisserie-related foodstuffs took over my life. Started with baguettes, danishes, then gradually developed into white sliced, granary. I'm sorry, I've got to stop.
Out of the crumbs came a new opportunity, a chance to turn over a new slice. And of course, Joe's flans supported him. I've got loads of these.
And after my own struggles, I thought I need to show the youth of today about my patisserie plight, so I released Just Say Dough.
Whether granary or a baguette, you should keep away or you'll regret. Just say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Just say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Why not try an ice cream cracker? They taste just as good as your focaccia. Just say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Just say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Patisserie, patisserie, it's really bad, it's the fruit where it's at. Patisserie, patisserie, it's really bad, it's the fruit where it's at.
Please listen to what we said.
Most food is fine, but avoid bread. Just say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Just say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Just say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Say dough.
Dough! Just say dough!
Well, of course, it's hard to prove any sort of copyright or plagiarism, but technically I was the first to release my voice in compact disc form. He does one for charity and gets all the fame. Songs from the shows is still available from Sinbad's newsagent on Ryan Street.
And who received greater success?
Not important, next question. Wafers are indeed biscuits. Project.
Wafers are indeed biscuits.
Indeed.
Indeed.
No. Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah, so basically at the moment we're just blocking the action through, and Ben's decided to teach Archie how to project his voice. We don't know how long it's going to take.
And have you got much time then?
Not really, no. We're a bit behind schedule at the moment. We're not even sure we finished the script. There might be a few changes that need making.
Wafers are indeed biscuits.
Wafers are indeed biscuits.
I despair. I've been at the Palladium.
What did you go and see?
Gavel banging.
It gets a bit annoying after a while, being constantly told you're not doing something right or to enunciate more. Just because he's got a bit of popularity, he thinks it's so bloody important.
Do you feel any resentment towards Ben?
No. Is this about the Ronseal advert? I chose that. I believe in the product. I could do Shakespeare if I wanted. I just don't. Anyway, at least I didn't do what Ben did at the Royal Albert.
The Royal Variety at the Albert Hall was, well, I thought would be the highlight of the whole experience. I wrote the script, and we were all ready, and Ben arrived wearing a Rasta hat, and I knew something was going to happen.
Yes, look, I thought it was good, no matter what the press may have said. Most of them don't know culture anyway.
Basically, he decided to do an extract from Hamlet, but he misinterpreted the notes or directions in the text. I think he got an old damaged copy or something. But it was the first time it had ever been played in a Jamaican accent.
Hey man, where that is nobler in the mind who suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune? Oh, yes, I admit it wasn't the most successful of performances, but I don't think some of the comments made by Bruce Forsyth were quite necessary. Still, didn't harm my career. When you've got the talent, the offers just keep flooding in.